All praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how I personally think that women are going to be the main catalyst in pushing forth Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1, man. And I'm going to read the scripture. It says, "And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." And one thing that men understand by now in this world is that women do a whole bunch of things in this world to compete with other women. And when you look at some of the stupid things or things that we think are stupid or silly that women do in terms of changing their appearance, like the eyebrows thing, the eyelashes thing, the whole foundation thing, the certain the body contour, like certain these just crazy things that they do, certain these ways how they do them. There's a certain way that women do their makeup these days that makes them almost look like a man that's wearing makeup, man, and it doesn't look good, right? And you notice that these women are not doing this makeup stuff and all that because they care about what men think. They're doing it because they care what women think, right? I've never in my life really looked at a woman that just had her normal eyebrows and thought, man, she needs to do something to her eyebrows. But I've looked at women that I've got this, they're out doing stupid things to their eyebrows and thinking, man, she should have just left her eyebrows alone. Like women in this world, they literally have cut their eyebrows off, shaved the whole thing off to get tattoos of eyebrows underneath. And you're like, well, you already had eyebrows, so why are you doing that? And then now their real eyebrows, if they even grow in, the tattoo will show the Salakia, the damn tattoo will show underneath their eyebrows because they tried to draw underneath their real eyebrows what they perceived the perfect eyebrow would be, and it just looks stupid, man. Right? They do all these silly little subtle things, like they get their calves reduced and like their nose and like their lips. They do all these crazy little different things, man. And you're like, these are not even things that men care about. But they don't do it because of what men think. They do it to compete with women, right? And the highest form of competition when it comes to women is the level of man that they can attract, or the level of man that they or the level of man that they have, or during times of chaos, it will be if they have a man in general, right? That's gonna be like a woman's prize, which is gonna prove that men are the prize, and at times that's gonna be like a thing that a woman's gonna have to show I'm better than these other women because I've got a man that's prepared to protect me. There's a man around me prepared to protect me. But these other women ain't got no man to protect them. These other women ain't got no man that's prepared to help them in the times of danger. So if two women get into a battle between each other, that battle is going to be overridden by a man that's also there, that's going to just push that woman, the other woman's spirit down, because she'll know that if it gets physical, she's not only got to deal with a woman now, she's got to deal with a man. And she couldn't even take on the man by herself, never mind adding in the woman into it, man. These are some of the things that's going to be taking place. Women are going to be shaming other women in the time to come for them not having a man. And we're already starting to see it with certain of these female YouTubers. They're already starting to cut through the BS of all these women that talking about they don't need a man. And they're starting to tell these women, listen, man, you ain't even who you think you are to be talking about what man this and what man that. You ain't even close to the level that you think you're on, man. And it's going to really get down to the wire when all hell breaks loose, man. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle of rent, and instead of well set hair boldness, and instead of a stomacher a girdle of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty, that men shall fall by the sword, because there's going to come wars, civil, race, world, and it's all going to lead to a mass loss of male life, which is going to that's going to increase the value that a man's perceived to have, right? Because for the longest time, women have not viewed men as anything that's like a necessity. They viewed it as something that they might want, but they don't need, right? Because there's been all these invisible men that are doing all these different kind of things to make the world still flow. Like right now over in the UK, there's been mad snow, and then roads are icy as hell, like 3 centimeters thick of ice and all that. And the roads were shut down, places were shut down and closed, right? And the reason why the places have been able to open is ultimately because men went out and gritted the streets, men went out and gritted the pathways, men went out and removed the ice out of the way of the roads, right? The men are the ones that go around all the cities and all the towns doing the bins removal and the bin disposal and all the waste disposal. It's the men for the most part that do all of those things. It's the men that keep the society maintaining, and even if the men that are currently doing it stop doing it, it would be another group of men that would naturally, through the power of being a man, find and figure out how to do it, man. Because there's a lot of people that could do certain professions in this world, but they're pushed out of doing certain professions because there's money in that, and they're trying to keep certain people out, man. Certain construction things, there's plenty of people that can do certain construction things and they ain't necessarily got exactly the same amount of training, or they've got enough smarts to be able to do it to a certain degree, man. Just because it's a certain things that men can physically naturally just do. Just like how there might be women that might be into beauty. Well, how many women in this world don't naturally just do their own basic level of beauty stuff anyway? Most women can do what a hairdresser does because they do it on themselves. Most women could put makeup on another woman because they put it on themselves, right? In fact, to a certain degree, they might be better at putting it on another woman than they put it on themselves because you don't require a mirror to do it on them, to do it on another person. But anyway, last bit of verse 25, and I'm mighty in the war, and the gate shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Now, a lot of women are going to lose their men, and then the women that still have their men, or the men that are around men in that time when it goes bad, they're going to be higher up the hierarchy among women. In women's eyes, forget what we think as men. In women's eyes, women that have a man are going to be viewed as being higher up in the hierarchy, whereas right now, a woman that's got a husband, women might view her as like, oh, she's a slave. She's a slave, and she's got to cook and clean for him, and she's his slave. He's treating her like a slave. But when it goes bad and women actually start to finally realize again what they always should have known, that having a man around is of value. Like having a man around a woman or even a family keeps predators away. If there's some kind of perverted freak predator in this world and he sees a certain kind of man that has a countenance that's like, listen, man, I ain't going to trouble you. But if you step too far against me, I'm taking it there. And I'm going to go all the way with what I need to do to make everything safe around my family again. If a predator type person sees somebody like that, they steer clear, right? If they see that that man's got that kind of countenance, that he ain't gonna necessarily start nothing, but he'll for damn sure finish it, people steer clear of that guy, man. And to the point where even if that person's family and friends or whatever are walking around the street without him there, they'll steer clear of that guy, knowing I don't want to have to deal with this guy. If I do something to this person, I don't want to have to deal with him. So they'll show respect to even that person's family and friends because of that, man. That's how it works in real land, right? Whereas in proud, nobody can't do nothing to me world that women live in, they think that men being stronger than them is just something that a man's supposed to use to work hard, take out the trash, do construction and maintenance around the house to benefit her life. They don't think that it's something that men also can use to manipulate the world into the way that they like it, man. Like Yahweh Shai, when he comes to this earth, he's not going to be begging and pleading with people to do what he wants. He's going to manipulate the world into his image through force, right? Oh, the elites and the armies that are in charge right now, and they're a hindrance to the kingdom of heaven being built. Okay, Yahweh Shai is going to show up and put them under subjection straight away and show that, no, there's a new order coming round. There's a new thing happening now. Them people that used to be in charge, they're no longer in charge. You don't have to worry about them. I'm here. And those people no longer have any power. And I've proven it because I've destroyed all of them. And I defeated all of them in quick, fast too, to show my power. Right? That's why Yahweh made these Edomites, man. So that his name might be declared. For this purpose, I've even raised thee up that I might show my power and strength, and that my name might be declared for all the earth. This is the reason why Esau's got so much power. None of you men on this earth, I don't care how much training you got, I don't care what little groups you've got, and how many hundreds of thousands of people you think you got, and we're all trained, armed to the teeth and all that. You're not the one that's going to be able to overcome this man. It's Yahweh Shai that's going to do it, not you. Verse 26, and her gate shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. And that's what these women are going to do. And it's going to get to the point where certain of you brothers out there, pastors, elders, and all of these different men that believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? All of the men of the elected nation of Israel, the women that you're with right now, if they stay with you in that time, they're going to be viewed as better among women because they're around you. And other women seeing that are going to be jealous and envious of your woman, right? And then they're gonna play what they perceive to be a dirty game, but really it would actually be righteous, and they're gonna know what men have always wanted and what men have always liked. They're gonna start getting with the program. They're gonna all of a sudden start remembering what men have always liked and what men have always wanted, to have more than one wife. And they're gonna be like, can I come with you as well? I'll be your wife as well. I'll be your woman. And your woman, because of the circumstances that the world is going to be in, he's going to be scared to try and push her away and tell her, now you can't be his next woman. Don't you know he's already got a woman? Because she's going to know what you're under in that time as well. And she's going to leave it open to you, whether you decide to say yes or no. She's not going to be trying to step involved and get in the mix and all that, and try and have a secret competition with a woman to try and push women away from, which women do that. Women, when they're out in public, if they see that another woman, likes their man, they try and play this little game where they try and push the other woman away to try and make her man not seem as attractive to them, man. They don't try and make him seem more. But in the time to come, these women are not going to get involved at all, and they're going to leave it purely open to the man. And they might even, to try and increase in his standing, gather women for him, man, to make him happy, to show their worth and to show that they're truly on his side for real. And some women might just try and forget whatever the women are talking about anyway, and just jump, let me be one of your wives, and start reeling off all their skills, man. You don't need to help me. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. I can do that. Look, they might even show up with food, man. There might be some of these women that have got their own house and all this stuff. And when all hell breaks loose, they see that man going by with his woman, and they've been traveling for a few days, for a few hours, ain't ate for a while. And she might scream out the window, hey, come here. And she might have full cupboards of food, man. Now, some people hearing this will be like, nah, that would never happen. A woman would never do nothing like that. Okay. But if some celebrity men right now in this society was to tell you some of the things that women have did for them, you wouldn't believe it neither, because you ain't experienced it. That's just because you ain't experienced it, and you ain't got no kind of imagination that you think that some of these things wouldn't happen. Women are going to be doing a lot of things that's going to surprise men when it goes down, and their humility levels are going to really increase, man. The level of humility and forced femininity due to the circumstances of this earth that these women are going to be under is going to be insane, because they're going to see what happens when women try and go on proud, and they're going to be like, I don't want that for me. They're going to see what women that have what was proud were like and what they experienced, and several things are going to happen to humble these women, man. And even still, I'm going to drop it like this, real true. I'm going to sing it real right now. Even still, some of you women that are going to try and come with genuine humility, right? Because of how proud you was before, a lot of y'all are still going to be kicked to the curb, man. A lot of y'all still ain't going to be accepted by certain men. A lot of y'all are still going to be told, kick rocks, man. Because now the only reason why you're trying to be humble is because the world's in chaos. But when it was the other way, you would have, if it was the other way still, where you could just set up an OnlyFans, and after one day you're a millionaire, you would have never came humble. So a lot of you are going to be told to get away, man. You're going to be told, move away, get the hell away from us. There's going to be a lot going on all in one go, man. A lot going on. There's going to be a hell of a lot going on, man. And a lot of women are going to be the main catalyst towards pushing this prophecy, man. They're going to start to humble now. There's going to be some women that are going to be the first to jump the gun, where some women are going to be like, come on, us girls, we need to all stick together so that these men can't overrun us. And some women are going to be like, yo, fuck all that. I'm going to find a man. Fuck what you're talking about. I'm finding a man, because you ain't got the skills to protect nothing. When have you ever had any fights to protect yourself? What you don't know how to do none of this. You shut up, man. We need to find men. Some of them are going to be telling that to their friends. Yo, shut the hell up, man. You don't know what you're talking about. We need to find men. We can't handle this as it is right now. We need to find men. We need men around. Forget all that I don't need a man BS. We need men, some men around here. And preferably them ones that was talking all that Israelite stuff. That's what they're gonna be saying on. Now, some people don't believe this is gonna happen. But some people don't believe that if they just don't be fat anymore and just start going gym and doing exercise, that they might get treated better. Some people don't believe that. Some people don't believe that if they just started dressing a bit better, that they'd get treated better. But that's what happens, though. That's what happens. Some people wouldn't believe that how some of these, like I said it before, how some of these celebrities get treated by women. Some people wouldn't believe that because they ain't experienced it. Just like how some people that wasn't around during the time of World War I or World War II, they wouldn't understand some of the things that happen, that the way that women become humble when violence is in the air. Because that's not a zone that women can handle, man. Whereas the most masculine way that a man is in this world is when war's on the table, man. And the most feminine that a woman is when she's got a baby in her belly, or when the baby's just been born and she's weakened by that, man. That's the most feminine that you're ever going to see a woman. When she's pregnant, or when she's just gave birth to the baby, or when she's looking after the baby, when it's still in a newborn, like maybe even just like a month old. And take a woman in her most feminine state when she's pregnant or when she's just had a baby, and put her in where a man's in his most masculine state, and how is she going to handle that? What a woman naturally is just cannot handle what's taking place when a man's what he naturally is. But what a man, when he's what he naturally is, can handle any situation, man. He can handle being around a woman when she's doing all her thing. But she can't handle being in his zone, though. And that's what these women are going to come to realize, man. And certain of them are going to be the first one to jump the gun and say, forget all the women that are talking about, yeah, see men, you know. I'm tired of men and all that. Men ain't ish and men ain't that. They're going to start being like, forget all that, what you're talking about. Men are ish. Men are this and men are that. Because look over there with that woman that's over there with that man, right? And look at what we're doing over here without no man around, and then tell me that you're comfortable. A lot of you women that are living shared houses right now, right, without no man in there, and that as soon as something breaks in your houses and your apartments, you know y'all are calling up the men. I remember one time when I used to live in one shared apartment thing in London one time. And when I first moved in there, there's some certain thing where like the shower wasn't working or something like that. And I ain't the best at fixing things or whatever, but I just took something that already existed in the house and just fixed the shower straight away as soon as I wanted to use it. And then all the people, especially the women, some of the women that lived in there, they was like, oh, did you call the maintenance person to come and fix this? Because we've been trying to get in contact with them for ages and nothing's happened. I was like, no, I just took this thing here and I attached it to that and it's fixed. Like, that's it. And it wasn't nothing deep. It wasn't nothing deep or nothing hard to fix, man. It wasn't nothing deep or nothing hard. And the thing was literally right next to the shower to fix the thing. But they did not have the mind to know how to do that, man. Whereas a man naturally kind of has that mind to try and make something work, even if he has to do it duct tape style, man. He'll figure out a way to try and make the thing more comfortable. But women don't know how to do that. They just know how to complain about wanting to be more comfortable, but they don't really know how to manipulate the world into the way that they think the comfort is. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 33, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, the daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Now, it don't say in the scriptures the bridegrooms are going to mourn having no virgins. The men are going to mourn having no wives. The sons are going to mourn having no helpers. It don't say that. It says the women are going to be mourning, man. So all this male loneliness epidemic bullshit that women are running around, all this BS that they're talking about men are just so lonely without women. No, that's women projecting, man. They want men to come chasing back to them again, but they want to make it seem like it's the man's idea. They don't want it to be their idea, because then they've got to admit that they're coming from a position of weakness then. So they've got to make it seem like, no, the men are lonely, and men, we're trying to do you a favor, and you need to start approaching women again to overcome your loneliness, because you're so lonely, and all this spare money that you've got available now, you'd feel so much better if you spent it all on a woman and bought her some drinks and paid for her nails and paid for her weave and paid for her hair and paid for her to not have to work and do anything in her life, and to be able to share her body with you when she wants to, not when you want it. If you want to do it 5 times in a week or once or twice, well, no, she doesn't want. She might want to only do once a month, or whenever she wants to, whatever the case may be, or it would be, man. Once, twice, whatever. She wants to be able to do it with her when she wants it only. And you'd feel much better if you took all of your money out of your bank account and gave it to her, because look, she's a queen, remember? She's a queen, and she's technically strong and independent, and she don't need you to do it for her. But your loneliness would be better overcome if you pay for everything in her life. Don't you think so? They don't want to admit that, no, they're lonely. And that when they wake up in the morning and they got a full bed to themselves, right? And they start looking at themselves in the mirror, they have to put all these mantras and all these words of affirmation on their window and on their damn board. Got a whole board full of 100 different words of affirmation. You are strong and you can do it, girl. And they got these damn brainstorms on their wall and all that, spugging out, trying to gas themselves up to make them feel like they can keep going, right? They want to try and make it seem like they ain't the ones that is catching hell. That they ain't been like, man, I'm tired of having to do all of this work and then like coming back home, and when I'm outside in public and I'm in front of these men and I'm thinking I'm the shit, and I'm thinking, this man's not attractive, this man's not attractive, that man's not attractive. But then when I actually do see a guy that's attractive, I'm such a digital dweeb of a woman that I don't know even how to talk to a man anyway. I only know how to press swipe left or swipe right and take a picture showing my batty crease. I don't actually know how to talk to a man, so I just ask him dumb questions. And if he asks me a question, I don't have nothing to say. But I just know how to put some makeup on and try, you know what I mean? They don't know. But they don't want it to seem like they're the ones that's really through. So they're trying to tell men that the men, no, you men, you're through. But the men are actually like, no, we're not through, you are. And it's mainly them that's complaining about men not approaching them. The men ain't complaining that they don't want to approach women no more. The men ain't complaining. You ain't seeing TikTok videos and all this stuff of the men saying they think it's the women saying it. And prophecy, which is what we're about as Israelites, prophecy backs that up. And I'll read it again. 2 Kings chapter 16 and verse 33. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegroom is part of this. Right? The women of young marriageable age are complaining that they ain't no men. Men ain't real no more. Men don't want to do this no more. Men are scared to approach women. They ain't scared to approach women. They just don't want to approach her. It's got scared. It's got nothing to do with it. They just don't want it. They ain't feeling it, man. You women made it perfect. A lot of you women made it perfectly clear that y'all thought y'all was the shit. So if a man's already got a woman, he ain't really trying to look for no next woman. And if a man's like peaceful as it is doing his single thing, he'll just be like when he starts looking at women, he'll start thinking, man, she's kind of hot, yeah, but how much is that going to cost me a month? And what could I do with that money for myself? So fuck them. I ain't trying to get involved in it. That's what they're starting to think. And women can't handle it, man. Because for the longest time, it was the other way. But like prophecy again states, you're going to be lamenting for the teats, for the present fields, for the fruitful vine. You're going to be longing for the female good old days, right? Then you know the same days that most women complained about? You're going to be longing for those same times that you always complained about men not approaching. And when you look back on some of the videos, even from 2 years ago, these women were still proud. Or where to not take a woman on a first date. Stupid first date questions. Things that men do on first dates that give me the ick, right? But now you see that the women complain that the men don't even want to take them on no date. And when you look at some of these things, man, it actually really, if you look at too much of it, can make you be like, man, women are actually quite disgusting, man. And you start getting in the thought that Solomon said, that he finds a woman more bitter than death. And you start to understand the kind of things that he would have been seeing women do that made him feel that way. Even though women would have been acting more fake for him because he was a rich king in charge of the world, ultimately. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. The daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and the husbands shall perish of famine. So that famine is going to be for the women as well. The husbands are going to perish of famine, but that famine is going to also be around, and the women are going to have to face that too, man. They're going to have to face the reality of life. And the world's going to get too real to be fake. right? All you mean little fake ego, where you try and you see a man and you know that you think he's handsome, but you want him to come and talk to you. No, that's gonna go out the window, and you're gonna be hollering at him first. Or you may not try and be, oh, I can wait, and I'm gonna scan this guy's like from afar. I'm gonna try and see what he drives. I'm gonna try and find out information about what I'm gonna try and find out his name and stalk him on this social media, that social media, to find out what he does for a living and all that. And I'm gonna stall out, and I'm gonna try and when I finally do like him, I'm gonna make him think it was his idea when really it was my idea that I was with him out. That's not gonna be working soon. You're gonna have to let go of all that fake ego, female pride, and have to be humble, man, because men ain't gonna be playing. And that's what you men have not seen before. You haven't seen a world where the men are not taking no BS. You haven't seen that before, man. We ain't even as men, we ain't even seen it. We ain't even seen the true reality of our own masculinity, man. We don't even know what Yahweh's got to install for us to do in a manly way. It's yet to be revealed, man. How much stuff Yahweh's gonna really test and prove if we're really worthy to end up on one of them chariots, man. Oh, you love Yahweh? Okay. How much are you really prepared to go through then in this dark time that's getting ready to happen in order to not fail and not take that MOTB? How much are you gonna really prepare to go through, man? We're gonna find out, man. Now let me get this Isaiah 32 and then I'm gonna end the video, because it's gonna get real down here, man. And I think women are gonna be some of the main catalysts to pushing forth the women hollering at the men, because the men ain't gonna be chasing the women down. That's not what that prophecy says. The men ain't gonna be trying to, yo, babes, I've got space in my camp if you want to be part of this team, yeah. So here's Deborah, here's Monica, here's Susanna, and there's space for you if you want, babes. Like here's what I can do. I'm good with my hands. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna be trying to persuade these women like some dancing bear. They're gonna be coming up to the men and saying, I just want to be around you. You don't need to provide nothing. Now, when the hell has any man ever seen that in the world, man? When the hell in this world has a man ever seen a woman come up to them and he don't have to provide nothing for her? When the hell have any man ever seen that? That don't really happen. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9, rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters, give ear to my speech. And even still now, a lot of these daughters are careless, man. A lot of these women live a completely different world to the world we live in, man. We couldn't imagine, well, I can't imagine people just wanting to pay for your whole life just only because of what you look like. I don't know anything about that. Now, if some of you men out there, you want to say you know, well, that's on you, fam. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know anything about that, man. That's not the experience that women be treating me with. Now, if you say that that's what you've had happen to you, well, cool, right? But I don't really know if that would be true, though. Personally, I don't really know. But I'm not gonna call you a liar. But hey, you know if you're lying or not. Many days and years shall be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Right? And women have been complaining now. They've actually been complaining for years. Oh, men ain't approaching. Men want to be princesses. Men are project princess. Men are starting to think that they're the prize. But here's the thing that you would have to, how the hell is he not the prize when you're expecting all these things from him? How the hell is he not the prize when you're scanning the man's almonds and watching man's pockets? Begging up the scene, man. How is he not the prize when whether he can or can't, you're expecting him to pay for every single thing in your life? He ain't asking you to pay for every single thing in his life. And women have become so arrogant in this world, they're complaining about having to pay for their own life. When women are complaining about the cost of living and all this financial thing in this world, they're complaining about what they have to pay for themselves, when the expenditures and the expenses that they are worried about, some of them are not even necessity. And they'd be able to have a lot more money spare if they didn't do some of these things that are not necessities. And when they're still speaking about having a man around them, they're not speaking about having a man around them because they want the man himself. They're still thinking about it from the perspective of begging and him paying for their life, man. And it's not going to work. It's not going to go that way, man. When all hell breaks loose, if a man's got one granola bar, he's going to plan on eating that whole granola bar. You understand me? And him seeing a woman in far off in a distance, he might I can picture this not right now, man. He might see some bear, like imagine one of you brothers out there right now, man, and all hell's broke loose and it's the end of the world, and you've been being alone for yourself. You've been alone by yourself, just walking for like one day, just one day straight. You had some rough sleep, and then you hear in the distance, yo, we need to find a man, star. Yo, we need to find a man, like where the men at? And you just look in the distance and you see 5 Eves, all fat as hell, with skittled colours hairs, right? Are you gonna go over to them and start talking, or are you gonna run and try and hide and and try and make sure you didn't leave no footprints behind so that they can follow you? Or are you gonna, you know what I mean? Or are you gonna go over and help? You're not gonna want to be around that, man. And if they see you, and like, oh, excuse me, hey there, he's kind of nice. Look at you there. He's kind of nice. You're gonna run away, man. You might run away. You might like, ugh, I don't want them around me. Your heart might just give you a burst of speed and you dip off, bro. Dip set. You just run away and like, excuse me, we need your help. We need your help, you know. You ain't gonna want to deal with that. Now, if it's a woman that's a bit more humble and she sees you and she's crying and she's, you know what I mean, then you might. And if you don't look like some complete scratch, you might be like, well, you might, but even still, then you might be like, nah, this might be a trick, man. She better back. You ain't gonna just be too picky. I mean, too beggy for one of these women, man. It might grieve you to hear them, to even be around them crying. You might have been enjoying it being peaceful, and then they show up and you're like, oh man, nah, she looks like she'll be slow, you know. She looks like she'll slow me down if some crazy man show up. She looks like she's gonna slow me down. If I need to run and get the hell out of there, she looks like she's gonna slow me down, man. She don't even look like she can run. You're gonna be scanning them and analyzing me like, nah, is this a trick? Like, is there some people hiding in the bushes that's ready to come out and jump and try and rob me? I don't really trust this woman. We're gonna be looking at y'all sideways, man. But women don't believe that can happen now because they've been so used to this. They've been so used to how it is now, where where the world's just manipulated for their happiness and their comfort and their pleasure. And it's like as far as the men, shut your mouth, yeah, pay all them bills, boy, and don't complain about nothing, fam, yeah. And if your woman is mad at you, that's your fault because you wasn't being a real man. But if you're mad at her, it's because you're a toxic masculinity narcissist. You know what I mean? That's a domestic abuse and you're abusive. Yeah, but if she's mad at you, it's because you ain't being a real man. But if you're mad at her, it's because you're toxic narcissist and you're abusive and they're abusive man. And you expect too much of women and you're trying to tame and make women slaves. But when she's begging up everything from you in your life, she ain't trying to make you a slave though. Because she's trying to make you be a real man and reach your potential. But you ain't trying You see how it sounds? But you ain't trying to make her reach her potential by making her fix up though. But she's trying to do that to you. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a rigged game, mate. Yeah? Like a slot machine, no matter how many goals you have, it's always gonna land on something where you lose. No matter how many times you play that Russian roulette table, the guy's got a handle underneath underneath the roulette table that controls the spin. And oh, okay, you landed on, you put something on every single space, yeah, but you forgot to put something on zero. Guess what? None of your bets are gonna come through, and he's gonna land on zero on the green for all of a sudden now, which is crazy odds for it to land on there, but it's gonna land right on there. You put something on every single number up to 36. You put it on red and black. You put it on odds, evens, 1 to 9. Do you know what I mean? Put it on every single gap, 1 to 12, 13 to 24, all of that. And it lands on zero, the only space that you didn't put nothing on. That's the kind of rigged game that women and Esau like. Yeah, they want men's lives rigged. But anyway, let me carry on reading, man. Verse 11, tremble you in at ease. Be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. And gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the present fields, for the fruit of vine. And they're doing that right now. They're complaining about when men used to do this. Talking about men used to sit out in the rain and sing to women and put their coat down. And mate, you never seen no man do that to you. So what are you running your mouth for? And if a man doesn't want to do that for you, maybe it's because you're a hoe. Maybe that's why. And maybe you women should have thought about telling other women that was running their mouth, shut your mouth, man. But none of y'all wanted to do that because you always wanted to see how far women could push it in general. You wanted to see how much you could get away with. And you got away with a lot. But every single thing y'all got away with, you're going to have to pay for it when all hell breaks loose, man. But she that liveth in pleasure, let's get that scripture. Is that 1 Timothy 5? Let's get that. Is it 5 and 16? Okay, 5 and 6. But she that liveth in pleasure, 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 6, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Y'all was on zombie mode when y'all was going through these cities and having all that whale of a time. Y'all thought you was living it, but really y'all were dead, right? Y'all was living a dead life, but you thought you was alive though, right? Y'all thought you was winning, but really you was actually losing, man. That's what you thought was going on, but you ended up finding out actually you was destroying yourself when you was living that way. Because now that reality is here, you don't know how to handle it. And that's why when that lockdown came, a lot of you women was bugging out, man, because all them outfits you went into debt for, buying them up on Klarna, right? Them outfits, y'all couldn't do nothing with those because y'all couldn't go nowhere. And some of y'all was desperate to go to the club and shake what your mama gave you and all that. Desperate to get some attention from men and you couldn't get it. And it's around that time, if I'm not mistaken, that this only OF thing came out. That's around that time, right? It's around that time when they started coming up with all of these things, man. You women was having your pride reduced. Some of y'all women that was side chicks started to really find out you was a side chick because the men didn't want to come all the way out to where you were and help you out. You didn't have no man to go out and get the shopping and go and do all of these things so that you don't have to come out of the house and deal with this potential, what y'all would have thought back in that time, potential plague going through the air. So you was having to come out in a mask or whatever, looking stupid as hell, scared that something's going to happen to you. But then the world went back to normal and you started getting proud again. But look at the thing that's going on in the world now, and the prize getting reduced again, man. And watch, a lot of women are going to be the catalyst, are going to be the main ones pushing this. Because when you read the prophecy, it's the women. That's the action. Let me read it again. That's an action caused by the women. It's not a thing that the men are going to be doing. Let's read it. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. This is not an action that the men are going to be doing. This is something that the women are going to do. The women are going to be initiating this, not the men. The women are going to initiate Isaiah 4 and 1. So if you're wondering out there, and this is just me speaking as a man, but this is how I perceive this prophecy is going to go. We know it's going to happen anyway, but I'm just giving us a suggestion of how I think it can go. Men that are wondering, oh, how are we going to know if this Isaiah 4 and 1 prophecy is going to be happening? You're going to start to be seeming and getting attention from way more women than you're used to getting it from. That's what's going to be a show. You're going to start getting attention from way more women than you're used to getting it from, man. And they're going to be bold to do it even in front of your woman. That's how you're going to start knowing, man. They're going to want to, and they're going to be coming to you humbly. It's not going to be that fake way where they're trying to talk to you, but you can tell that they're trying to really find out how much you make or what you do for this and what you do for that, and trying to think of a way to not make you be a choice for them. No, it's going to be where they're realizing, oh, actually, I'm trying to make him be an option. I want him around. I want to be around him. It's going to be like that, man. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. What do they call that in the dating world? Cold approach, right? That's what they call it, a cold approach, right? The women are going to be cold approaching men when he might not want to, like how these women say, trying to make all these slogans from when's the best time to approach a woman? Only approach me when I want. Well, men are going to be saying that, yo, don't approach me. Don't approach me when I'm minding my business. You better approach me on my schedule. Don't knock on my door. And you better wait outside my door and wait till I come out. Yeah, because now that you've approached me the wrong way, I'm not really with that bounce. Men are gonna be arrogant like you. We were arrogant, man. And I hope y'all are ready for that. And you're gonna have to sit through the arrogance. Because the only other choice is gonna be, okay, you don't like the arrogance that he's showing? Handle it yourself. Yeah, deal with it yourself then. I'm going to end the lesson there, Shalom. Women are going to be the ones pushing Isaiah 4 and 1, not the men. It's going to be the women pushing it, man. According to when you read the prophecy, the women are going to be initiating it, not the men, man. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.